If I can get on here. Welcome to today's show. See that we got PTL in the background here. Going to bring him on in just a second. Hey, PTL, good to see you. Thanks for joining me today. I've got some things that just will bring up as we're talking, I think. Some things that I've done, some things that I've seen that's on PTL's channel and some of the others. It's good to be back with you. I've been traveling. Just got back, let's see when, I guess it was Thursday night, and gone over to Colorado Springs and spoke with a group over there. And on the way, I stopped at PTL, let me just bring you in here while we chat. I stopped.
You're going to start.
Hey, brother. Good to see you.
How are you?
Good. I stopped on the way out to Colorado Springs at a place called Lake Scott State Park. It's one of these Kansas state parks, and it's these chalk formations like I've shared before with the Monument Rocks and Little Jerusalem Badlands. This is in that same area, and it's an amazing place. It's beautiful. And what I was trying to do was I had hoped to maybe stop going out and stop coming back and getting out there where there's very little light pollution and taking a picture of the Milky Way. Now, this was going out, and it's late in the season. It's not vibrant like the colors are in the early spring, but it still was sort of a neat shot. And I used a little tool that, let me show it to you. This is it. This here. See that? It's called a star tracker. And what happens is, as the Earth is rotating, it looks like the stars are moving across the sky, and actually it's the sky moving in front of the stars. So as the Earth's rotating, this thing counter rotates. It has a clutch in it, and it turns counter to the Earth's rotation. And then you can take and open up the shutter for a long time, and it keeps the stars in line, and they don't get these star trails on them. So it's really cool.
And it matches the Earth's rotation perfectly?
Yep. It's just calibrated to do that. You have to point it, you have to line it up to Polaris. So you have to point it at the North Star. And then once you point it at the North Star, it's got all kinds of stuff that you set on top of it to put your camera on. You can turn your camera in any direction, and it will continue to rotate it to counter the Earth's rotation. And, it's a little bit teeny tiny thing. So for backpacking, now you wouldn't want to take this on the AT, but it's pretty good. It weighs a little over a pound.
Yeah,
and then it's got a bunch of other
overnight, couple days. That's not bad.
Yeah. So I'm going out again. I just told Rerun I'm going to Colorado, back to Colorado, the first week of September. Going back to the Great Sand Dunes National Park, and the Great Sand Dunes is one of those dark areas where you've got no light pollution. And what I hope to do, Lord willing, is I want to get a sunrise or sunset and then a sunrise, but then in the night, get the Milky Way coming up over the sand dunes.
That would be awesome.
I think it'll be pretty amazing if it works. I need to get a whole lot better at this thing, man.
I'm doing something new, Dan. When I supported the ultra marathoner Christian Morgan, he does a French press every night. You make it at night for him and to drink in the morning, but throughout the day you make a couple, and it's a single cup French press. I've never done it before, so I liked it, and I bought one, and so I'm making myself a French press right now.
Awesome, man! You've gone upscale since you hanging out with the big boys.
It's good. It's really good. Same coffee that I always use, but I don't know. It tastes better.
Huh. Well, that's neat.
It's not as bitter. It tastes a little smoother. I don't
Well,
know. Sometimes I use the Keurig. I'm lazy. Sometimes I do instant coffee, and every now and then I treat myself to
a
using
nice
the
cup.
French press.
Yeah. Well, good for you. I like that. So where did you get it from?
I ordered online. So again, when I was supporting Christian Morgan,
Uh-huh.
that's what he used. It's the same model. It's a little bit different. I think they changed it a little bit, but it's basically the same idea. It's a single cup. It's got I don't want to take it out because it's full of coffee grounds, but you
Yeah.
got the press in here. You put the 2 sets in and slides down. It's got a double filter. If you want, you got a cap on it. So if you make it and don't want to drink it now, you put the cap on
And keep it
so
hot.
during the day I would make him a cup, and he'd be coming in half an hour. So you make a cup real quick, throw some ice in there to cool it off. He would come in for a minute or two, guzzle it down, and be on his way. But at night you would make it in this, leave the press part in, put the top on, and then you wrap it in insulation. I put it in a little miniature cooler that I would throw up in his tent for him for the morning.
Sweet.
Yeah, but it's nice and easy to use. It's messy cleaning up, but I like it. So I've been using that now and then.
Well, now you see more
Yeah.
toys. Now I got to look at that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, but boy, you're getting into the gear for cameras.
Yeah, man. I tell you, it's worse than backpacking. It's worse than backpacking. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And it really is. I've mentioned this in one of the videos. It's taken me to a whole different level of just slowing down.
Yeah.
Unlike Chris, unlike trying to do fastest known time, I am slowing way down. And so now, you go out there and you sit like on a creek bank or a river bank, or you sit in a field, or you sit. I got some pictures the other day of more kites. These kites are flying around here. I don't know where they came from. They're really not indigenous to this part of the country, but there's a ton of them.
Yeah.
And so I sit out in the middle of the field. At first they fly away. I just sit there, and then they start flying back, and they forget that you're there, and you just you're there with them, and you get good pictures. But the really a big thing is you just get, it's just the peace that comes from it. It's quite amazing. We got Kevin on here. We got Derek and Rerun all listening in. So that's fun. Hi guys. Good to have you all here with us.
I got to go log into another version of it so I can check the comments. I can't see the comments when I'm in StreamYard.
Oh, yeah, that's one of the disadvantages. I'd see it, but no one else, unless you're in Facebook, or not Facebook, YouTube. Facebook was acting funny, and it wouldn't take the stream today, so it's just in YouTube. So yeah.
If you see me looking up, it's because I can't read without my glasses. But I'm over in the other channel looking at the comments.
Oh, okay.
I'll go back and forth. I should probably get my phone going to do that.
Oh, that's quite all right. Quite all right. But yeah, my plan is, let's see, and I bet Kevin knows this place. It's Chaco Canyon in New Mexico. It's a place. It's sort of like Mesa Verde. Did you guys go to Mesa Verde when you went and hit all the national parks?
Sue and I did. Or actually, let me think. Yeah, we did. We did Mesa Verde. Actually, I've done that twice. I did it once with my son, and Sue did it on our trip last year. Sue and I.
I've never been there, but I understand you have to get tickets ahead of time in order to go.
If you want to go down into it, not to go up, just go up and look from above and get the view from above. But if you want to get a tour going down into the caves, then you would have to get a ticket.
Yeah. And a friend of mine was telling me that, it's like 20 tickets a day, and it's 2 days a week that you can be able to take tours down into there. There's a place called Chaco Canyon in New Mexico that the ancients lived in. And this is a whole big, I mean, it's 15 miles of different little village structures. They have these large houses that had hundreds of rooms in them. And then there's petroglyphs there. So, and then there's one petroglyph, and as they were researching this place, these people, they were brilliant, and they lined everything up with the sun and the moon. So at the equinox of the sun, there's one petroglyph that has 18 and a half circles, right? It's a spiral, 18 and a half spirals. And at the equinox, the sun will shine between two rocks. There's 3 rocks in front of it. The sun will shine between them and split that thing in half. It's a calendar.
Yeah.
And then through the seasons, it will move across those circles perfectly. So that, it's an early calendar. And then they built their buildings the same way. So there's an exterior wall. They're built sort of in half circles, and the exterior wall, as the sun comes up from the east and goes across to the west, it will go right across the edge of these buildings. And then, so at the solstice, it will cut through the, let's see, let me get this right. Equinox, it cuts along the edge of the buildings. Solstice, summer solstice, it cuts on the outside of the building. Winter solstice, it cuts through the center of the building. So these things are lined up with the phases of the sun. And then Kevin was talking about how they were mathematicians. They had to be. These buildings are 15 miles apart. You can't see them because there's mesas that separate from one to the other. So you can't see one to the other, but they're lined up perfectly. And they all do the same thing.
Yeah.
And then with the moon, something I didn't know is that, know the phases of the moon, like you got a new moon and a quarter moon, a crescent moon, a full moon. And the moon through the month, it goes through that. But through I didn't know that the moon, like the sun's equinox, the moon also rises and sets through the years in different places. And each year it moves to the north, and then it moves back to the south, 18 and a half years. 9 and a quarter years it moves to the north, 9 and a quarter years it moves back to the south. Wow. And this, remember I said that spiral was 18 and a half loops around. Well, the moon does the same thing that the sun. When the moon rises, it will cast a shadow on that particular circle of the phase the moon is in over nearly 20 years. So Kevin's talking about the experts in triangulation and experts in mathematicians, and these guys,
engineering, you must be going crazy, Dan.
Oh, I'm just all over it. So that's why I want to go, and I'm going to go there, and I would like to get a picture of the Milky Way coming up over these buildings, these structures that are there.
That would be neat.
Just in honor of these people, because how they looked at the stars and how they looked at the sun and the moon over generations and generations of doing it. So
now, is this a place you have to get a tour to go in, or can you just?
No, you can just go in.
I know I've seen YouTube videos. I'm not sure if it's here, but there's different places where you can go into the caves, and some of them they make you like Mesa Verde, you got to get a ticket.
Right.
But other ones, you can just go down into them.
These are just you know, you take care of them, but
Yeah.
you know, they're not caves. These are structures that are built with timbers. The roofs were made with 250,000 timbers
Wow.
that they haul, and there's no trees in the area, so they had to haul these in to make these buildings with. Even the stone, the cut sandstone, they had to haul that in order to make it. So it's
Amazing.
just, I watched a special on it. I was intrigued, and I watched a special on it, and it was just fascinating to see. Got Sandy here. Yeah, I tell you, Kevin, I wish Kevin could go with me, because I think he would be able to tell me a whole lot more about it than what but I'm trying. I'm studying it, and I'm going to do a video for that. That's almost like I'm going to try to do it like a documentary. Is what I'm going to try to do. So we'll see. We'll see. I have dreams. But yeah. So what? Anything happening there? I mean, oh! I was going to ask you how he did with his AT run.
He was doing phenomenal, Dan. He was averaging up through Vermont 55 plus. At one point, he was averaging 56 miles a day. From day one, he was ahead of the record pace. He broke the southbound record last year. Not once going southbound was he ahead of the overall record pace. This year, going northbound, from day one, he was ahead of the pace, stayed ahead of the pace for 37 and a half days. He started to fall off, so I sent Iceman a note asking him what's going on, and I guess he was having some type of tendon in behind his knee was bothering him. And with 3.5 days to go, he was in Maine, ahead of the pace. 3.5 days to go, he had to quit.
Oh man!
Oh, I know.
Oh man! I bet
what he did was unbelievable and amazing.
Yeah.
But he got an injury. You know, you never know.
Yeah.
3.5. It's 41 days. For 37 and a half days, he was ahead of the pace.
Man, oh man, oh man!
He got an injury.
Was it a leg injury or?
Yeah, leg. I some type of tendonitis in his leg behind the knee, I think. I'm not sure exactly where. It was the thigh or the back of the leg or what.
That's just too bad.
Yeah. So I'm excited tonight. I should be videoing this stuff, Dan. I got to change my channel to Be Still on the Trail and Be Still on the Trail and Stuff. I have an old lawnmower. It's a John Deere. I inherited it. It's really old, and it's been giving me a hard time, and it died on me the other day. I could start it, pull it, it would run for a minute and die. So I looked up cleaning the carburetor, and I took a chance today. I'll clean the carburetor. I bought a few gaskets for $5, put it back together, and I'm pulling on it, nothing. Pulling on it, nothing. Now I realize I didn't hook the spark plug back up. Put the spark plug up, one more pull, it started right up. Since I inherited it, I could start it on choke, then run it, and then it would start to die after I run it for a while. Then I'd put on choke and it would run rough. I can run it now, choke it, rough starts, put it onto the normal fast, it runs good. I can put it into slow. Before, if I put it in slow, it died. It's running like a charm. Oh, I'm excited.
That's great.
I'm it myself.
Well, I'm just making a quick note here. What was I supposed to say? Kevin, Atypical Hiker. You know, he's got that second channel where he does everything. He does his mechanics with jet skis.
Yeah.
And does it. and it's that thing booms. They love it. So yeah.
Maybe I'll do another one. I got it running good, so I'm afraid to take it apart again. But it would be a great video.
Well,
And
you might
maybe I'll
just
do it on the
enjoy
French press.
Oh, that yeah, absolutely. No, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
That would be fun. I like it. Yeah, I think people just enjoy hanging out with you. So no matter what you do, it's gonna be good, and people are gonna enjoy that. It's um,
I was hoping to
that's
see
what I like.
Max and maybe Kevin on tonight, or
Well, I was hoping to. I was hoping maybe Max. I see that Bika's here. She could certainly join us. Uh, anybody that wants to, I just put the link back out again.
yeah.
But the I know Tony. Last time I saw Tony,
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking Tony.
Tony shaved.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's he's looking different. But it's life is busy, and we just all. I've had a hard time just getting on here. All of a sudden, I had that trip to Kansas City that I had to do that popped up on Monday morning, and I had to go, and I knew that I wasn't going to be here for Monday evening. Last week, I was in Colorado Springs, which was a great trip, but I'm tired. I'm still tired. And then, I got gout. I told you about that, right?
Oh yeah, that's
and
painful.
that thing, it is still tender.
Yeah.
After quite a while, and
I have a friend who gets it regularly and creates a lot of pain for him.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's
one and done.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Oh my!
So we've been busy, Dan. We, as you know, we went out to Washington.
Yeah,
and we did some national parks. We did Olympic National Park, Mount Rainier, and the North Cascades. And then in between, we did a couple other trips. We did Mount St. Helens, which was beautiful. I really like looking at that. And then we did the boat ride from what's the lake to Stehegan. Lake, I can't think of the name. Chelan, Lake Chelan, maybe Chelan or Chelan. But you take a boat from Chelan all the way up to Hagen, and you can't get there. The only way to get there is by taking this 4-hour boat ride.
Oh,
there's no roads to stay. I'm not saying it right, Stehegan or something like that.
Yeah,
but that town, maybe about 3 or 4 days ago, was on the verge of burning down from the Pioneer Fire. Hey guys.
Hey Danny.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey Kevin, good to see you. Rerun, good to see you.
Good to see you guys too.
Hey guys, hey Rerun, good to see you.
Yeah, Muck, I need to tell you, I'm a new car owner now.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, I got new 2025 Honda CRV.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Nice.
So I plan. That's a little bit of a secret. I'm gonna be coming back out next year to the AT to do some trail magic.
That sounds good. Where you planning on going?
I'm hoping to go back to the Virginia area. So I really want to go to AT Trail Days.
Yeah.
But if that doesn't work out, I'm gonna try. Like I said, in the Virginia area. If I want to go farther north, I probably will. But we'll see what happens.
Okay. Hey Kevin, you said you had heard of Chaco Canyon?
Yeah, I heard of it, and I was looking into it. Some really unique circular structure.
Yeah.
And I could be wrong, but I think those are either from what's called the Mungiong or the Pabloan people.
Pabloan,
but I could be wrong. But
yeah.
But there's some really interesting Native American history in the southwestern United States.
Yes. Yes.
And normally we would, Joanne would be representing her group in Marfa, Texas on Labor Day weekend. She's not
Oh.
going to represent this year, but we're still going to go and visit the festival. We're just going to have fun.
Good for you. It's
And,
good.
and I'm going to meet 2 other channels up there, maybe for certain, and maybe a third channel.
Oh,
So we're going to have a little meetup there too.
have a little gathering, little YouTube gathering.
Yep. Yeah, that'll
Good.
be fun.
That'll be fun.
I wanted to come up and say hi real quick. I'm actually visiting with Joanne right now, so
Oh, okay.
so
All about it.
I don't want to leave her waiting too long.
Yeah, absolutely. But good for you. I'm glad you did. It's good to see you. I was thinking of you. I was watching a documentary from National Geographic on this Chaco Canyon, Ken, and they were showing all of these. I mean, great documentary, very detailed, talking about the people lived like 800 to 1200 was when they think they were there. Fascinating. I mean, it's just a fascinating place, and how precise their construction is.
One place I would I've done a video of this place. It's a Texas state park, Seminole Canyon, but it was a hiking video. But when the weather gets cooler, I need to go and do the pictograph tour. And I think the pictographs there are, I could be wrong on this number. I think they're anywhere from 1,200 to 4,000 years old. They're part of what's called the Lower Pecos River rock art.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's just, it does amaze me. I mean, they found in these buildings, in these buildings, they have found carvings of parrots and something else that were part, more of the Aztec type of thing.
Very cool.
And they think that there was actually trading going on thousands of miles, that they're trading back and forth. And they think that this Chaco Canyon area, one of the things I was reading about was perhaps it was a trading hub for
Quite
and a religious center.
the Native Americans that Joanne has associated with were known to be merchants, they're traders.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's very common.
It's really cool. Very, very cool. I'm excited to get out there and see it for myself. I love history anyway. And
When you go there, Dan?
The first week of September. Rerun's going to go the next week, I think, right? Rerun, you're going the next week to Colorado.
Yeah, I'm going to Colorado for several days and do
I'll be out there the week
great
before.
sand dunes and try to get some day hikes in.
Okay.
Then I'll be starting my plans for 2025. I have some hikes that I want to do. And
Okay, guys. Well, I'm going to get on down. So,
all right, Kevin. Thanks for popping in.
Nice to see you.
Yeah,
I see your channel all the time, but it's nice to see you.
Oh, likewise.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I'm also trying to get over a knee injury, but I'm going to do some hiking. So,
okay.
So once it gets tolerable here, I'll be on trail.
All right.
All right. Well, everybody have a great day.
You too.
Thank you, Kevin. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Pet Jackie boy for us.
So, Dan, did you say that you're going on the 4th?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm leaving on the 1st of September, that Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Right after church, and then I'll drive to western Kansas, and then the next day I'll drive into the Great Sand Dunes, get there in the afternoon, hike in to. I'm trying to decide. I'm either going to go to Tall Dune or to Star Dune. Those are the two highest dunes, and then from there spend the night.
You,
I'm
you
hoping.
actually camp up on the dunes?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you get a dispersed permit. It's $6. I mean, they
Wow.
break you up.
Yeah.
You get a dispersed permit. You climb up into the dunes. You have to get over the first set of dunes in order to start camping. But then
Yeah.
you just sort of find a little knoll, little flat spot in there, and set up and spend the night.
Make sure you're out of that wind. Boy, that when you were there the last time, that wind picked up and
That
sand was
wind
everywhere.
was terrible. That
Yeah.
wind was awful. But I'm hoping it's not. I'm watching the weather. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be calmed down. Sandy's asking if I'm still planning on Spain next year. I am. I am still planning on Spain. Now, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to cover while I'm gone, but we'll work on that.
I look forward to watching that.
Yeah.
I'm still planning the hike with Tim from North Carolina, the teenager. We're leaving September 4th, so he's going to fly in from North Carolina to New York. I'm going to pick him up at LaGuardia, and then we'll drive that afternoon up to the Adirondacks, and we're going to spend 7 days hiking up in the Adirondacks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we got
very cool.
It's not a big miles. I think our longest day is the plan is maybe 8.5 miles longest. But if there's water source is not good or people have the tent site, we'll have to drop down and do another mile. But should be good.
I could almost do 8 miles with you. That's more my area.
We're going to do anywhere from probably 3 or 4 miles to 8 or 9.
Okay. Sandy and Bika are giving me a hard time. I haven't had anybody tell me I needed to gain weight in a while. They're telling me I need to gain weight before I go back up into the sand dunes, not get blown away. But oh, yes, this was the same place where the sand was blowing so hard. It was crazy, and it was blowing sustained winds almost right at 30 miles an hour with gusts up to 50. And it was just sandblasting. The sand there, Rerun, is it's not like sand on an ocean beach. It's gritty, and so it's and there's
I've been there before, but
okay.
Yeah, it's probably about 2018, maybe 2019, but yeah, I definitely been there. I haven't been up to the dunes yet, but
the dunes they're special. They're really neat.
Oh, yeah.
And they have if you find it, you find places where there's a black sand that's intermingled with it, and that black sand is magnetic. So if you got anything that's magnetic, you're going to have a hard time getting rid of the sand, because you got to blow it off and brush it off.
I hope there's nothing magnetic on your cameras, Dan.
Well, on my action camera, it is.
You gotta be careful with that.
It's magnetic in the bottom of it, so it just gets coated, and you have to keep wiping it off. But it's funny. It's funny, but I haven't watched the movie Dune. I wonder if is it a scary movie? Does it have monsters and stuff coming up out of the dunes? I don't know. but yeah, it's a neat place. Rerun, if you get to go and hike up into the dunes, I think you'll really enjoy. And then Zapata Falls is beautiful too. There's so many different places there to hike through.
So I was saying, Dan, Stehekin, the place we went to on our trip, the end of the boat ride, the Pioneer Fire a couple days ago got within 800 feet of the town.
Oh, wow.
And their main goal out there, we talked to the fire, we went through the smoke. We actually went in close to the fires, on the way out to Stehekin. And probably about 2/3 of the way it stopped, so it cleared up. But the fires made it there. and they just put a fire break around the town and were able to save it. They
That's
basically,
good.
yeah, they tracked the fire around it. It got close, but they preserved it. So that's real good.
Yeah, that's
So we did that, and then we did the North Cascades. But unfortunately, at Mount Rainier, we hit a rock. You know, you always read those signs: "Watch out for falling rocks." And the rock didn't hit our car; we hit the rock. So we were early hours going for sunrise at Sunrise Point, and Sue yells rocks, and I saw the little ones. I didn't see the big one in the middle. Went right
Oh,
over
wow.
it. Yeah, and I did a couple $1,000 of damage to the rental car. But the worst part was I didn't see the damage. It was early hours, probably about 4 a.m. I backed up, pushed the rock off the road so nobody else would hit it, pulled over, and there was another car with flashers on. They hit the same rock, and they were on the phone with their rental company. They had damage. I looked underneath, didn't see any damage, drove all the way to the top. And when I got to the top, the oil light came on. I looked underneath and the oil was gushing out. So I did break the pan.
Yeah.
So we're up on the top, the farthest point at Mount Rainier, at Sunrise Point or whatever it is, the visitor center at the top. And the closest tow for budget rental was 2 hours away. So they had to send a flatbed 2 hours to get us, and then 2 hours back to Seattle. He didn't have room in the cab for me, Sue, and our luggage. So we rode on the top of the flatbed 2 hours back to Seattle.
Yeah, I saw that short video you put out.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. I missed that one.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good one.
And then to top it off, we still had a great trip. Then we did the North Cascades, which was beautiful. We get to the airport Thursday night at 8 o'clock. On that Thursday was the computer glitch. And we were on Delta Airlines, which was the hardest airline. Our midnight flight got canceled, rescheduled the same flight for 6 a.m, got canceled. Every time it's canceled, you get back in line and wait for 2 hours or more. Canceled at 6 a.m, we're rescheduled for 2 p.m. We got canceled at 2 p.m, rescheduled for 6 p.m, canceled at 6 p.m.
Good grief.
The next flight after 6 that night. So we just spent 24 hours in the airport.
Yeah.
The next flight was Sunday afternoon, and this is Friday evening. And my daughter started a phone chain, and a friend of hers called somebody in Kansas, of all places, Dan. That friend in Kansas called somebody in Washington.
Come on now. Be nice.
Called somebody in, that's right, both of you are in Kansas.
Yeah.
They called somebody else who called somebody else who called a lady, sister in the Lord, who lives 7 minutes from Seattle Airport. And when we made a reservation for Sunday afternoon, she came and picked us up, brought us back to her house. Saturday, the reservation for Sunday got canceled. So that's number 5. So we rescheduled for Monday evening. And at that point, I said, you know what? I don't want to risk Delta anymore. So we made a reservation with Alaska Airlines. And sure enough, the reservation we had for Monday with Delta got canceled. So good thing we switched. And we ended up flying out Tuesday night on Alaska, got home Wednesday morning. And that lady put us up from Friday night through Tuesday and picked us up, brought us back, fed us, gave us a tour of the local shoreline.
Very cool.
Pretty awesome.
Well, I need to get out of here and go back to work, but I enjoy talking to you both.
Yeah, it's good to see you, Rerun.
Good to see you, Rerun.
Yeah. I'll have my videos out for my plans for 2025. So.
All right.
Okay. Very fine.
I'll see you guys later.
Who knows?
All right.
Maybe if you're you left. If he's planning trail days, maybe I'll try to get down there and see him there.
You guys enjoy that. I have absolutely no desire to go to trail days.
I don't have desire to do the tent city or any of that. I would get a hotel and stay away from the crowd at night. But I enjoy the vendors and all that.
I would like to see the vendors. That is true.
And the people. As you're walking around, you see people you recognize. That would be nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I am right now planning November to go to Moab, Utah, and meet Tim and Nicole and do some hiking out there.
That's
I'm excited.
November.
That's November, and
You
I'm really
haven't hiked
excited.
with them yet this year, have you?
Not this year.
Okay.
Yeah, every time we've had something's come up
Yeah.
on their side or my side, it just hasn't worked. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting with them. It's really good. But
So I'm enjoying your camera stuff, Dan. I'm learning from you.
well, I appreciate that a lot. I'm learning. You know, I'm learning a lot. I'm taking. Actually, I'm taking 3 different photography courses.
Are
I'm
you?
trying to get better at it. But
Are they all online?
Yeah, yep. They're all through a place called Udemy, I think it is Udemy,
Okay.
and they have a whole range of courses for everything. I mean, anything you're interested in. But I've been doing these photography courses, and you get some are really good, some are okay. You know, there's one guy, Simon D'Entremont, lives in Canada. He has a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And he also does photography workshops. My goal is one day I want to go and meet him and do one of his workshops because he is amazing, and he does amazing stuff. He just got back from Iceland or Greenland. I think he just got back from Greenland, and was taking pictures of taking pictures of polar bears. Yeah. Now, Sandy, what they talk to me about, they call me you dummy. I think it's you dummy though. Oh, but yeah, I'm looking forward to getting out there. Winter in Yellowstone photography workshop. Ooh, no, I hadn't heard of that because that sounds good. Sandy's crazy. You dummy is her alma mater. That's what she says. But yeah, I know better. She is an artist. I mean, what she does with just takes scraps of paper and makes art out of it. It's just amazing. Oh. Well, I'm going to show you this kit of parts, Ken, that makes this Star Trekker work. Because what you have to do is you have to isolate all the movements of the camera. You have to isolate the way the camera goes up and down, side to side. How you aim it. You have to rotate. Have to isolate all of it. So you start out with this thing, and this is a base that goes right on your tripod. There we go. Maybe I can get it on there.
Now, does that base automatically rotate?
No, the base doesn't. The base is going to give you the trick is stability and being level. Those are the 2 things that you have to do. You have to keep it level, and on top of here, there's a little. Let me see if I can get it where you can see it. Yeah, right here. Here we go. See this right here? That's a little bubble level.
Yep.
So you can, when you set it up, you make sure that you got the tripod itself level on the ground, wherever the ground is at. And then you take this thing and you turn it around so that it's facing north. And it needs to be facing due north. So you need a compass. I use the compass out of my phone, but there's a difference between magnetic north and true north.
Yeah.
On iPhones, if you go into the compass setting, there's a switch there that says, I want to use true north. And so once you do that, the compass is on true north. And then you, based on where you're at in the world, your coordinates, So right here in Kansas, we're at the 37th parallel. You take this thing, you unscrew it, and you start to raise it, right? You raise it up to 30, and there's little marks on the front, and you get it roughly at 37. And that's the height of Polaris, the North Star. And then once you have that,
When you say 37, it's 37 inches?
37 degrees.
Oh, 37 degrees. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to make you pull out your maritime hat again. Wear it. Cause it's 37 degrees for an Army guy. Well, actually we did a lot of land nav. So we did a lot with compasses too. So, and once you have that in place, you take a ball head. And so this ball head here is what my camera sits on most of the time. And you can take it and turn it any direction. What I like about this ball head, it also has a bubble level on the front.
Yeah.
And it has another bubble level right here, right there.
So if you're already leveled, why would you put another one on there? Why not go right to that?
It's no longer level, right? This thing's turned up like this. The base is level, but this part's not level.
It's on a 37.
This is raised up to 37 degrees, right?
Yeah.
So you have to get your camera leveled again. The camera needs to be level. So what you're going to do?
Oh, that's interesting.
It's sort of interesting because it's like making a Frankenstein out of the thing.
Yeah.
You pull this thing out. All right. So now that's in place. So now I got to turn this thing up and get it level. I'm pretending that it's level. And then you tighten up your ball head. So now the base is level again, right? Well, there's one more thing. You got to do it again. So this is a fluid head. This head just goes up and down. It's not made like a ball head. It just goes up and down. This is for the camera. So I'm going to put it on here. Just like that. Tighten it up. And then I can keep checking this to make sure that this is level now. And then once all of that's on there.
And this is going to have to make sense somewhere because you're doing a lot of stuff that I don't think makes sense to me yet.
Well, it's not going to, it doesn't make sense because I forgot to put this on. This has got to go on like this. Now.
That's the main piece,
This is
right?
the main thing. And this is what you have to line up to Polaris.
Okay.
There's a couple of different ways of doing it.
Can you see through it?
You can. And you have this scope. Pull this thing out of here. You have this scope, and you can take and you can put it right up through the middle of it, and you can look through the scope and you can see Polaris, and you can line it up, and you have all kinds of little knobs to turn it, left and right and up and down until you get it perfectly aligned on Polaris. That's one way of doing it.
Does the scope have an app to identify Polaris? Yeah,
well, it's got a little aperture inside of it. It's got a little scope, a little so that, and it shows you based on your coordinates where Polaris is at, and you just line up dot to dot. You line the dot up on the star. That's sort of the hard way of doing it. The easy way of doing it is there's an app for that. And so I have this app right here.
Yeah.
And once you turn this on, and you won't be able to see it, but you can click on different stars based on where you're at, and there's Polaris. And then you just sort of line there. It gives you a crosshair. Now that crosshair is way down out of the way because I've got it pointing straight up. But if I could show you, if it was pointing to the north, that crosshair would start to move around in here. And you just lay this on top of this,
Oh,
and you
okay.
line it up, and then you've got it set to true north.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, because I have a star app on my phone, so you can point it at anything and it tells you what it is.
Yes. And then you take this monster that I built, and you put this on here. Just like that. Stand up and we'll level it. Okay. There it's level.
So the special device is pointing to Polaris,
This is pointing to Polaris.
but
But
your
once you have
camera,
this off, go ahead.
your camera's going to be level though.
Well, it is right now, but once I put my camera in here, like this, can you still see? Yeah, you can still see that, right?
Yep.
Now I have the camera is isolated, so the get this all lined up here. Make sure it's all tight. There we go. All right. So now this is level, but the camera, I can move any direction I want to. And I can turn it any direction I want to turn it. And I can put it on the stars or on the Milky Way where I want it to be. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I still don't understand. What is the device down at the bottom doing?
What it's doing, the Earth, say the Earth is rotating this direction. This is very slowly turning this direction.
So that device will actually turn, like you said, with the rotation of the Earth.
Yep.
And it's just
And
going to
so-
turn right to left with the Earth and it's on a 37-degree angle.
Yep. So,
But you don't have to set your camera on any special angle, though?
no. Well, I do. I have to set my based on the angle of the stars that I want to shoot, or the Milky Way that I want to shoot. But the Milky Way is going to be to the south, and this is pointing to the north. So I got to take this thing and I got to turn it like this so that I can shoot the Milky Way in the south.
Yeah.
But this keeps turning to counter rotate from the Earth.
It's going to stay on the North Star.
Yeah, and what that does, it keeps all of the stars pinpoint. Even if I turn this, now
Yep.
I'll turn my shutter so that it's open for a full minute. And if I didn't have this, all of the stars would have trails. All of the stars would be little elongated little things. But this keeps that from happening, and it keeps the stars pinpoint. And so then you get something that looks like that.
Nice.
So that's what I did at Scott Lake, or Lake Scott.
Yeah.
And the shutter was open for a minute before it would shut down. And then you get more vibrant colors than you do like I've done before. Because before,
keep sharing this stuff. Eventually, Dan, I'm gonna take action. I have a friend who does photography lessons, and I keep meaning to contact him to start taking lessons, and you're inspiring me to do it.
it's just really amazing to see creation, and what I love my little action camera and get to all of that, but it's amazing what a different camera can do for you and get you to let you see.
And it's amazing when you know how to use it. I have an SLR. I've used it, but I really don't know what I'm doing. I thought it was broken, and my daughter has the same camera, little newer model. She said, no, it's not broken. And she'll take it out and do close-ups of flowers, and they're perfect. I'm like, how did you do that? And she said, I put it on manual, and I just play with the settings like you do. and she
Yep.
knows what she's doing. And so on our last trip, they weren't perfect, but I got more nice pictures on the flowers. I still haven't figured out distance. And it's like you're saying, you got to be, you can't overreach the camera. And that's something I learned from you. But
and that's something. It's a real temptation when you have a lens. Well, when you have a lens like this one, this thing, well, it weighs 6 pounds.
Yeah.
And this thing, it's a 600 millimeter zoom lens, and it will do amazing stuff. But my temptation is I'm always trying to make it overreach itself. And
something like that is nice for sitting still, and you get birds at the top of a tree, and you can zoom right in on them and get really nice pictures.
Or deer, or elk, or moose, and that's what there's a. Well, Sandy will know what I'm talking about. There's a place called Buck. Oh, what's it? Buck Brush, and here near us, and it's a place where they go, and if you want to hunt pronghorn deer, they will get them and take you out there, and you can hunt your deer. I have no desire of doing that, but I talked to the guy, and he's going to take me out, and my hunting is going to be with a camera.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to get to go out with him, and then I'm just going to do photography with all of these animals that he's got.
Nice.
And so I'm excited about that.
I got to start doing that, Dave. I used to hunt up in Maine. I have property in Maine, and but in the off season, I would just go out, climb up a tree, and sit there for hours to watch for wildlife, and I love doing it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Now you bring like you're saying, rather than hunt, bring the camera, take some pictures. I've had hawks and stuff fly in and land right under me, and
yeah, it's amazing.
Deer, moose, bear, there's everything up there.
Oh, that would be nice. I would love to go and do that.
We have power lines, transmission lines on one of our property lines. I would go to, and it's on a hill. I would sit at the top of the hill with my binoculars for hours, just sunrise, sunset, just sit up there watching the power lines to see deer go by. Every now and then catch a moose.
Yeah. I would love to. Somebody said white buffalo. When I went over to Lake Scott, and I don't know if I can get this up here for you. When I went to Lake Scott and camped out, and then the next morning I got up and I was planning to go on to Colorado Springs, and right beside my tent there was a barbed wire fence. There was a whole herd of buffalo.
Awesome.
All I could remember was my friend that was that he raises buffalo, and he said, a barbed wire fence don't even slow them down. If they want to go, they just go right through that. And I'm thinking, oh my, all that's between me and them is this barbed wire fence. I'm going to see if I can get you guys a picture. I don't know if it'll let me do it or not. I'm sort of hoping it will. See if it's going to do it. Oh, I think it's going to do it. Just a minute. I'm going to look at that. White buffalo. he was the big boy. He sort of ruled it all, and very exciting to watch that one.
Where was that, Dan?
That was in West Kansas.
Wow.
Yeah. There was a whole herd of them. So I haven't done a video on that yet. So I think I need to put something together. I'm not sure. But yeah. Very fun. Yeah, Sandy, isn't that neat? Yeah, they laugh at barbed wire. That's not even going to slow them down. This guy, the guy when I was doing the Cherokee Trail, and he raises buffalo. He's got a corral that he keeps them in during certain seasons, and this corral he made it out of the barriers that are along the interstate where like curves and stuff where if you hit them you won't go off the side of a mountain. The big metal barriers, that's what he made them out of. He welded those things together, and they were about 15 feet tall. That was what he used for a corral to keep those buffalo in. So those bison, wild stuff. Oh, me. But yeah, this little star tracker is a game changer. I think I'm really excited to get it out there. It does add a little bit of weight to your kit, but
Yeah.
Like going out to the sand dunes. I'm just going out really for one night. It's a hike. It's about 6 miles to get into where I'm going, and it's 6 miles of hiking up sand. So
yeah, you're up starting high up, but I've hiked up the dunes. That's a tough hike.
yeah, that's a tough hike. So,
but Dan, I envy you being out there. I envy you being in that area where there's no city lights and getting that view. But I don't envy us sleeping in the sand. What tent are you going to use?
I've got one that's a freestanding tent.
Yeah.
It's a little heavier than what I want, but I think that's what I have to have is that freestanding tent.
Yeah. Which one do you use for that?
It's this one. It's a little, it's not really a brand name. It's one it is dry. It doesn't leak. Let's see. What is this one? Messina, I think is what it's called. It's this thing.
Oh,
Messina.
okay. Yep.
And yeah.
Little dome tent.
Yeah, it's a little dome tent. It's a little
Yep.
freestanding dome tent. It does fine. It's just, it's a lot heavier than the
Heavy.
duplex.
Yeah.
It weighs about 3 pounds.
Yeah, that's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad for just getting up there. I don't have to take a lot of food. Really don't have to take any. I will probably take some coffee for breakfast and a little bit of water because it's out there. But
Yeah.
but I really don't need food. And I will need my big sleeping bag because now in September the nights will be getting down into the low 40s. So
yeah,
I'll probably take my good sleeping bag for that. All righty. But enough of me.
well, we have some big changes coming up here. My daughter's still been living with us. She just bought her own house. So she grew up in Wallingford, and we moved eventually to Orange, Connecticut. So she's moving back to Wallingford, being near her brother, and bought her own house. So
she did buy their house.
Yeah, so it's a fixer-upper. She'll be moving out soon. We're all going up and doing a lot of work, helping her tear off wallpaper and eventually painting and some repairs. And so that's keeping us all hopping too. Actually, her and my wife headed up there after dinner and doing some work up there today. I dragged my lawn tractor up there, went up with the trailer the other day to cut her grass. So that's keeping us all hopping, but we'll be empty nesters for the first time.
Wow.
So a little while longer and Leah will be out, so we'll be on our own.
And how are you dealing with that?
Oh, that's good. It's good. Yeah.
Good.
Sue and I got married late, so and we were in our mid-30s and had a child a year and a half later and have had somebody in the house ever since. So it'll be nice to have our own place.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Very, very good. Well, yeah, and so when has she hasn't moved out yet? She's still fixing it up. Is that
Still
what?
fix it up. She could
Oh,
stay there now if she wanted to, but I think until she has it in better shape, she'll stay here for a little longer. She basically works from home, so she
okay.
she can work here or work there either way.
Well, Sandy just got her house back from a summer of having her grandkids, teenagers. So,
Well, we had our grandkids last night.
okay.
My son has a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a newborn baby. And
Oh my.
so we had the 3 older ones, 4, 3, and 2 overnight last night. It was good.
Good. That's good. Good for you. Yeah, they're fun, but I tell you, it's hard.
Have
There's
3
a
of them like
lot of
that.
energy wrapped up in those little bodies.
Yeah. And they go, go, go. And boy, these kids can talk. Oh boy. They can talk. And they like to read. So they like you to
Oh, that's
read.
good.
And
Yeah.
stories. I make up stories for them and they
Yep.
love stories. Another
They
one,
love
another one,
stories.
another one.
Yep. I used to do that with my grandkids when they lived with us. I had 4 of them, and they would want stories. So I'd ask one of them to give me a time frame. You know, when is this going to be set? So they give me a setting. Ask them another one. Okay, so tell me, where is this going to happen? And so they'll give me a location, and then say, okay, so give me some names of who's going to be involved in it. So the other one gives me the names, and then another one I might say, okay, what kind of story is this going to be? And so they would give me sort of a genre, and then I would spin it all together and make the story for them.
Yeah.
And they loved it. They would listen for hours.
Oh yeah.
Just to listen. And they did that. I mean, I see that Sandy says that 15-year-old had a posse of friends to come and they would eat a lot. And so my oldest, he was at the time, he was 15. And 15 and 13 and 11 and 8, I think, was what their ages were then. Now they're all grown. My youngest of those 4, she's turning 19 here in a couple of days. So, all right.
I haven't been on the comments, and I just saw Bika asking for prayer, and you might have mentioned it before, but we'll definitely be praying for Bika's husband, Paul.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Sure will. Sure will, Bika. I'm sorry I even missed that. That's, yeah. Well, Ken, it's probably time to land.
Okay.
And go from there. Do a game called The 3 Things. Give them 3 things in the story, and they start the never-ending story. Throw it off to the next person. Oh, I love that. See, that's a great way of doing it, Sandy. So you start a story, and then somebody has to carry it on to the next stage, and then they keep going. That would be a fun way of doing it. When I go back to Virginia, I may do that with my grandkids out there. Sam, Sam's a pistol. He's 6 years old, and Maggie, she turns 2 this year. And we would take them when we were there. We'd take them to the park every day, and they had a splash pad, and then they had all the swings and slides and climbing things in the parks. And so it's fun to watch them, because they would have a kiddie place, and then they have the bigger kids place. And Maggie, who wasn't quite 2, she didn't have anything to do with the kiddies. She wanted to go over to the big kids, and she would get to the climbing walls, and she would start just go up a climbing wall like she owned it, and all of a sudden you'd look and she's 8 feet in the air. Whoa, where'd that come from? So, yes. Well, Ken, anything before we shut down?
No, it's been a pleasure, Dan. Good to see you.
Well, thanks for joining me. Yeah, it is a lot of fun. Fun to talk with you. Fun to talk with everyone else that was joining in. And Bika will be praying for you and your husband for sure. He's I hope that everything he strength is restored and he does well. So, all right. Well, Ken, God bless you. You take care. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Stay on the path. God bless. We'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.